and Wine. This is Champagne with my co-host,
Treva,
Flynn,
Raya.
And today's podcast is about a book called Dark Places. The author is Gillian Flynn. Director and screenplay by Gillis Parquet Brenner. Producer is Charlize Theron. Did not know that. Okay, so what do you guys think of the book?
I enjoyed this book so much. It was a thriller and it wasn't real predictable to me.
I agree.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I didn't predict what was happening, and normally I do in books, but this one kept kind of throwing me for a loop, so I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
It's so funny in reading it. I kept saying, Treva, I already know what's going to happen. I already know what's going to happen. Did it. Rhea, no, you're not. You're obviously not as far along in the book as I am, and I'm going to need you to keep reading.
Right. So, yeah, but do you remember we were talking about it, and we had drawn some conclusions, and Lynn sat quietly?
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh, okay, because she had finished it.
Yes.
And I was like,
I don't spoil it for you guys.
Because y'all did the same thing to me on a different book. That was...
Well, that's what
actually, Rhea gave me the complete different person. And she wasn't finished either.
But you should have known better than to listen to Rhea anyway.
I know
that's where you went wrong.
Because by chapter 5, I know who did it, why, when, and how they did it.
And she's going to tell you that even if she is wrong. At least Lynn just remained silent while we were talking.
I let you believe whatever you want to believe until the end.
Yeah, I did like the book. I liked
very
the book
suspenseful,
also.
very suspenseful, very well written.
Yes, I agree. I did narrow it down, and still, Deandra was not part of my narrowing it down on who I thought was the killer.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay,
Deandra still wasn't. I knew she was off, but yeah.
Technically, she really wasn't in some parts, so...
Well, there were
That's a
multiple.
good part.
Yeah.
Yes,
Multiple
good
killers,
point.
yeah.
That's a good point. Spoiler alert.
I liked the movie also. I enjoyed watching the movie, but I was not happy with the casting. And I know we'll get to that later in the podcast, but just so y'all know, I got real issues with the casting.
Yeah, I thought the transition was really well. I think they did a good job of staging it the way that I pictured it in the book.
Agreed.
I think it started out in Kansas and they end up in like Missouri or, I just felt like what I read is what I saw. So I did think the staging of the movie matched my thoughts.
Yeah.
I agree for the most part also.
For the most part.
Because
But what is it that you disagree with?
the parts I disagree with are the parts that they left. I left out.
Oh, okay. So one of the things, if you want to just get to the nitty gritty of it, one of the things that bothered me they left out was the little girl's role.
Oh, and the whole relationship with Ben?
Yeah, so the younger girl that he was accused of raping, Libby did not go to the house with the mom as she did in the book.
Yes.
So then when she met up with the older Chrissy, there was a dialogue that couldn't take place because Libby wasn't there. Because remember in the book, Chrissy was like, oh, I remember when you came to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of brought her around to what really happened. But she couldn't even have that dialogue because Libby didn't go to the house with her mom when they went to go confront her about what supposedly had happened to Chrissy from Ben. So that kind of drove me a little bit crazy. But it wasn't significant enough where I didn't like the storyline. But
And that's the thing. I think a lot of it wasn't significant enough to not like the movie. I know when Libby went to visit Deandra and Crystal and met the daughter and everything, the good part is that she did fall down the steps. Well, not good part, but, that's part of the book.
See, there you go.
No,
liking that type of stuff again. But go ahead.
When she went to
the good part is she fell down the steps.
I was like, you don't realize the negativity in that, buddy? A little sadistic.
But remember in the book, they were eating dinner and she got smacked upside the head with an iron.
Yes.
Right.
But
it
you
didn't happen.
remember this in detail.
Unfortunately, I do.
It was
but
on the stairs. I get the similarity that they did, but they just changed the scenario.
I get why they did it because I think it was more impactful.
To speed up, and it also sped up the whole action part of the movie.
Right. And instead of her mentioning a name and it dawning on her, she saw the cross of her mom. So I get that.
Yeah, because she mentioned the name that was in the diary.
And that's why she freaked out and hit her.
So no one has real issue with the lack of Patty's sister.
Patty's sister?
Yeah, Diane. Yeah.
Diane was in the movie.
Yeah, but Diane to me seems so much more significant in the book.
Agreed.
And in the movie,
She just like kind of drove her around and that was it.
It's like, where'd she go? And then even they left out the ending,
which
where
is my
she kind
favorite part.
It was almost like closure to everything, which for me, in most books and movies, I need the closure.
Yeah.
And they kind of left that off.
You're talking about when Libby went to go see.
Yes.
It's like I'm coming back to everything is coming down for her. She's coming to grips with everything that she went through, and the only thing that was still left, like hanging fruit, was Diane. And then I'm like, well, wait, where's Diane?
But in the movie there was no hanging fruit because that whole relationship with Diane didn't exist.
That's my point.
Oh, okay.
But that was one of my best parts in the movie for me, is when she called her, she didn't answer, Diane didn't answer, and she just showed up, and she was like, finally, I'm proud of you, thank you, or you did a good job. Or she was like, did a good job for what? She was like, because you made an effort. And that's why I didn't answer the phone, because I wanted you to come. That's what I got from it.
I felt like if I hadn't read the book, it seems as though she just kind of was left out hanging.
Yes. Right.
Where it's like
did she go to an orphanage?
Yeah,
what happened all those years?
Yeah. But that's not what happened. Somebody in her family did take her in.
Right. A couple of people,
child, but,
yes.
And understandably, but yeah, I didn't like that whole part was missing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I still felt some closure at the end of the movie because she kind of went to the house and it was like kind of saying goodbye to that house where it all happened. So I got closure from that part of the movie. Do you remember at the end of the movie when she did that?
Yeah, that was insignificant to me. It's just like,
something is always insignificant.
I mean, I'm like a little girl standing there waving, bye-bye. I was like, okay, whoever produced this movie, was that like their cousin or something? Because I really didn't understand what the point was.
Okay.
Their cousin, though?
I mean, something.
Like, I will say again, Gillian,
there's two people that were insignificant. Like, the little kid at the end, and then we even took the time to have her run to the daddy on the tractor. Like, what? Okay, maybe it was to show that the house is still being farmed. I don't know. But
There's a happy family in that house with so much negativity in its past.
And she went to grab her dad to show him someone who was at the house, because in the book, he was the one that stopped what he was doing to come over and talk, because he waved at her first and she waved back, but then she saw he wanted a conversation. She was like, yeah, I'm out. I didn't come here.
Still, there could have been like a dead mom hanging in the back.
Seriously?
Okay.
It just needed to end to me.
So what about Lyle? Because they did change the storyline with him. Because remember, he was living at home with his mom. But then in the movie, he owned a laundromat.
At the end?
No,
in the beginning of the movie.
In the beginning.
When they first met up.
When they first met up, remember, she called him, but when she went to go meet him, it was like he was still living at home with his mom.
Yes.
Paying for this stuff because he was kind of exploiting money from the club that he was part of. But in the movie, they had him owning a laundromat, or owning some. Was it a laundromat?
Yeah, laundromat. Yeah.
They had him owning a laundromat, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a little different.
Very different.
Not that changed the storyline at all, but
I just don't get why.
Why did they change that? Yeah.
Speaking of significance, why is that change a significant matter in it? I agree.
Right.
I mean,
anything else?
It seemed like they ran Runner like exactly.
Yes, definitely.
Like
it was, yeah. And I would have assumed it was Runner being the killer if it wasn't for everybody else saying like.
I think I did.
No, he's too dumb.
I think I did say it was Runner.
Yeah.
I think I said it was Runner.
Chrissy Gates' dad was a good one though.
That's
I did
what I
not
thought it was.
think of that.
I thought it was him.
Yeah, I didn't.
Most of the time, I thought it was Chrissy's dad.
I thought it was Deandra's dad.
Yes.
I figured he was going to find out she got pregnant.
Because she always said, like, he would kill me if I got pregnant, if I wasn't a virgin, things like that.
Exactly. So I just assumed it was him.
See, I thought that was trickery when they kept saying it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, y'all trying to trick me. It ain't him.
I thought it was the school
Well, the trickery was Runner. Because I definitely believed it was Runner. What you mean?
I thought it was a school teacher that found him over top of the...
You thought the school teacher was the killer?
Yeah. I mean, at that point, it was too many people.
Everybody's guilty. Like, everybody wants to kill him.
I mean, I really, really like this book. I really love Gillian Flynn.
Yeah.
Me too.
Speaking of, I will say this again, like I said in previous podcasts about Gillian Flynn, she's disturbed.
Yeah.
She's not normal.
Don't know where she's coming up with the storylines.
Yeah.
But really just keep coming up with them.
Please,
because we obviously enjoy them.
Right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about cast.
I hated the
cast. Now I'm sinking into myself.
What do you mean?
The cast.
Oh, it was like, are we going to get out? Like,
right.
What do you mean?
The cast. Like, where did they come from?
Okay, because Charlize Theron was too old.
I love Charlize Theron, but not in this movie. And I
love her
really,
too,
really
but-
love her.
I thought that was kind of interesting because she was the producer. So
Right.
I was like, okay, well, I guess it's kind of like, it's my money, I'm going to be the star. But no, it didn't work.
It didn't.
No,
She was
it didn't.
too old for the movie, and then she just looked a hot mess.
She was supposed to
I
be
think
hot.
she was
supposed
supposed to
to.
look a hot mess, but
definitely
she
was
didn't.
supposed
First
to.
of all, she didn't. She showed no emotion, even when she was supposed to be angry about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, you don't. Where's the anger? You see nothing.
Right.
You
She didn't-
absolutely see. It was just.
One of these.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Full of salt.
But why was it so hard to give everybody red hair? Like, red hair was
Thank
significant
you.
in the
I don't
book.
understand that
Like, why
either.
couldn't you wear a red wig? Ben sure didn't have red-headed curls. He was an old bald man.
Yeah, I was going to say, he
And I'm
didn't
just
know
like, what is going
Even
on?
Crystal. Crystal was supposed to have red hair.
Yeah.
That was so interesting to me because I thought in the book, like, that was the thing. Like, she walked in to the jail and it was the old Ben. Like, it was
Yes.
supposed to be so significant.
Because his red hair
his
came
hair
back.
was back. Because the last time
Oh,
she
it
saw him,
was
he had
long,
black hair.
too. It
Yeah.
was supposed to be really long.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to have
That's what I'm
glasses
saying.
on.
Like, she was supposed to have, like, I pictured her walking into the jail having some flashback of the old Ben and then a new Ben. Because that's what she was harping on. Oh, he looked like his old self.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Or
he had
even
the red hair.
him, because he said, "Oh my gosh, she looks just like mom."
Mom.
No,
She didn't look anything like mom.
She didn't even have.
Still missing the red
You
hair.
couldn't even see her hair because she had a hat on the entire time.
And that's probably why.
Oh my goodness, it was so annoying.
Yeah, I did not like
I'm
the cast.
I'm sorry. I don't have anything with bald heads or anything like that, but I'm telling you, really, Ben, put on a wig because, you know, we can all slap something on at any time. That's what hairstylists are for.
Yes.
It was
Slap
not
something
cute.
on.
It was
I
not
don't
cute.
know why they made him bald. I mean, I just...
Maybe
The
to
red hair
signify
was a
the time
connection.
had passed since he had spent 28 years in jail. But at the same time,
But it wasn't even the same person, so we would have got that.
well, yeah, I agreed. But I'm saying, maybe that was their way to show how time lapsed.
Oh gosh, that was just
Yeah.
I don't
horrible.
like it.
It was... And
I
then
couldn't feel
you're right,
it at
she
all.
didn't look anything like the mom. Like, they should have done a better job of at least... I mean, if
Yeah, he
Charlie
had
had to
long
be in
red
there...
hair.
Right, that's true.
Or at
There.
least shoulder look so you could see the hair.
Okay.
Or at least finding someone who looked younger
Yes.
and looked like they'd been through something and showed some emotion.
Okay, but one...
Over.
I cannot.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so the one person I thought did a good job in their role is Chloe Grace, or Moritz, whatever.
Played the
she
played the
young version of Deandra.
Oh, yeah,
She was perfect for that role.
Yeah.
She looked crazy. So
Yes.
yeah, I thought she did a
Okay,
good
so
job.
now the older version.
That's about it.
Do you remember the
I
older
do.
version? She was forgettable.
Yeah, she was
I mean,
forgettable
she was
actually.
okay. I remember.
I mean, she wasn't
in previous
horrible.
movies, She wasn't. She to me, the way she looked wasn't as significant to me, except for the fact that she was supposed to be cute, and then her daughter. Oh my goodness. That threw me too.
She was supposed to have red hair and look like the family, and so as soon as
Well,
Libby walked
she
in,
technically
Exactly.
did because she didn't have red hair, just like the rest of the family.
That's true. Libby was supposed to walk in and say, "Oh wow, look at that red hair."
Right, you look
that's
like
family.
us.
And
You
do
look like a
think
day.
it was because of the way that the film was shot, that it was kind of like, you know, I'm not like a film person, but it didn't really have a lot of color in it.
Right.
That's
But even better reason to make the red hair prominent in that type of filming. It's kind of dull, but the red hair would pop. Mm-hmm. So it didn't have to be red hair, but it had to be something to make them relatable. Like, we would have saw that scene and saw that little girl with red hair and be like, oh yeah, no denying, that's Ben's
Exactly.
kid. You know,
Right.
even though, what's her name? Deandra was a little stanko and Runner
That-
said it wasn't your child.
I definitely didn't think it was his child. The whole book. I did not think it was his. I thought it was
Yeah.
Trey's, actually.
I didn't think
It was a little
Trey,
too
'cause Trey
close.
was too weird.
He was- they were just
I
too
don't
close.
even.
Who's Trey? Trey was
Trey
the guy
was
that
the one
owned the
that was
motor
supposed
company
to
at
be
the end.
Indian.
Yeah, the
Oh.
feed company.
Was-
Did you
was
say
the plaques
motor
on the side of
company?
his head.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I thought it was a truck company
It
or
reminded
something.
me of a 1940s or 50s movie where you took some random Caucasian and put hair on it with some braids. Like, we are in what year? We could find someone who actually looks like their heritage.
Right.
I was
You didn't
upset
think
with
he
that.
looked like his heritage?
Oh,
No.
you think he did because they put like a wig
They
on
did.
with ponytails?
Well, I didn't really pay that
We
much
couldn't
mind,
put
but
a
it clearly
wig
got
on
me.
Ben Day? I don't understand.
Or you could have just found a Native American actor.
Well, that's
Exactly.
right.
Oh, okay.
That's what I
That's what she
mean.
was saying.
I
I thought he was Native
bothered
American,
me.
so I don't.
He
I
didn't look like it to
Did
me.
you feel like it was weird to me? So in the book, Patty made this, unselfish deal to, have things happen to her. But to me, in the movie, it almost seemed to me as if she changed her mind.
Yeah, because he shot her daughter. I think that was the moment of her changing her mind, I thought. No, for me.
To me, it was like when she even came out the door, when it instantly happened. Like, in the book, it was described as, and she took it so well, and she, she just let me sit there and hold her and put her to, lay her down. But in the movie, it almost seemed like
she changed her mind when she was laying with Libby.
In the bed.
In the bed. And then was like, well, maybe I really shouldn't do this. And then she jumped out, went to the door.
Startled her.
I agree. I think that she seemed like she changed her mind.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
I didn't pick that up. Now you guys gonna make me go rewatch that part because I don't know, maybe I just didn't pay enough attention. But I did.
I was paying close attention to that because that whole scene was touching to me when she went in and said goodbye to Libby. But I just felt like, wait a minute, did she change her mind? Because I don't remember that happening in the book.
And what I remember, or what I got from that, I guess, is when Calvin spoke in the book, which is the angel of death. He made it seem like that.
Who's Calvin?
Is the angel of death, the guy who...
The serial killer?
The killer. Gotcha. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
He made it seem like that's how it was supposed to go. Like, he was supposed to stab her. Why did you make me kill your daughter, too? Because that's what he said to her as she's laying on the ground. Like, why did you make me do this? But he made it seem like that. He was the way it was supposed to go was him cradling her in his arms while she passed away. But when her daughter came out, that's how I got it. Like, she regretted it at that moment because her daughter ran out and he had to kill her.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah. But I see it before.
But before that, she comes out like it was just like, I always love you, Libby. She was not prepared for him to kill her. And in the book, it was like she was ready for it. And boom.
Maybe not being prepared or maybe having second thoughts, but knowing that this is what she should do for her family.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what I saw. And then when she got outside, of course, he shot her. Or stabbed her and then shot her. And that's when it changed. But the preliminary part, I see that she kind of had like doubts, like, I really do love my children. I'm going to miss them. I don't want to go.
I also noticed they didn't really show any significance of the, toes and fingers that Libby lost. Did you notice that?
Only in the beginning, it showed her feet wrapped up. That was the only part I got.
Because that was kind of significant.
Right, because she did have a nub. You're right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
That's actually how she got away.
Yeah.
Because she let her toes freeze or something, right?
Yeah. But it was no snow, so it might have been...
No, there was some little sprinklings of snow.
I saw some ice.
Yeah, there was snow.
Okay.
It was cold.
Okay.
But I didn't remember Ben actually seeing her and telling her to stay right there.
He didn't in the book.
Because I was like, wait a minute. I thought nobody saw her. She heard talking, but I don't remember.
But when Ben talked in the book, he said that... Like, I thought he did.
He did say that he saw her, but he was yelling and saying, "Wherever you are, stay right there," because he knew that the Deandra was looking for her to kill her. So I thought he gave her that warning. And
it was supposed to be snow because I remember him saying that she heard the crunching in the snow.
It was snow.
Yeah,
it was snow on the ground.
In the movie, it wasn't that much. I guess
it just wasn't snowing as hard as you would think it was supposed to be in the book.
Right,
but it was cold and it was snowy.
That and everything was kind of like borderline black and white, like in this grayscale. So you really couldn't tell that the grass wasn't green. It actually was kind of like dreary. So it looked like it had like a winter frost to it.
So I guess any other thoughts?
To go back to the casting, I think that they should have casted a little bit differently. Deandra, which was older, Andrea Roth, should have been casted to me as Chrissy Cates, and then Drea Mateo should have been Deandra. For some reason, those seeing Chloe Grace younger, and then going to Drea Mateo looking older, I think that would have been a better fit.
That's what I kept thinking when I was watching the movie. I kept getting those two confused.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking that. For some reasons, they're like, maybe their facial structure or where their hair fell, it just seemed more that they should have switched those two characters to me. I agree. That was the only other point that I needed to bring up.
All right, so let's get down to voting.
Yeah.
Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
Go ahead now, Champagne.
I'll give this a half glass. I did enjoy the book. I really enjoyed the movie. I am very torn between giving this a half glass and a full. I think the casting is what kept me away from giving it a full glass.
I would agree. I give it a half glass as well. Only because, again, I was just a little upset with the casting.
I would give it a long day's work because the casting did bother me. That was like one of my only things. And all the things they left out weren't as significant to me. So I give it a long day's work.
So Len and I are on the same page because I'm giving it a long day of work because they did pretty good capturing the storyline, but I didn't like the casting. But the adaptation I thought was pretty good. Listen, come up with your own.
I can change my mind.
You're not allowed to change your mind.
It's just final.
She was talking about every single one.
Yeah, she is.
That's why I don't like going first. This is the part that I don't like going first.
You
Second,
didn't go
third,
first.
I want to go last. Because I
here now,
because
she'll go
there-
Okay, so now you're changing yours to a long day at work, or what are you doing?
I would like to give it a long day at work as well, because I do think the transition was really, really good. Again, the casting sucked, but the transition was good. And I absolutely love the book.
Okay, there we have it. We didn't quite get a bottle of wine on this one. We've got 3 long day at work and 1 half glass.
Thank you, podcasters, for listening.
Follow us on Instagram at Read, Watch, and Wine.
Right, check us out on any avenues that you have to listen to podcasts. You should be able to find us.
Subscribe.
All right.